Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Everline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care. Hello, everyone. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Tannia Ospina of Ospina Law, and she does something really cool. She actually does intellectual property, and I love it. Tannia, I don't know if you knew this, but I actually at one point in my life wanted to be an IP lawyer. I was in undergrad at Berkeley and I was studying rhetoric, and that was my dream. And yeah, so I love your area of the law, special place in my heart. Tell us about your firm, how you got started, and tell us what you do, what sort of clients you help.
Hi, Margarita. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. So excited to be here. And I have to be honest with you, I never dreamed of becoming an IP lawyer, but honestly, it was something that I came across and I fell in love with intellectual property, and I changed my practice area to intellectual property after starting first in criminal defense. So I guess I'll backtrack and, kind of just explain how I got here.
Yeah.
How I got here, how this happened. So my name is Tannia Ospina. I am the founder of Ospina Law, and I also have a law templates business for the DIY client, the Law Bazette, and I work with business owners, just helping them protect their intellectual property on the procurement side, so trademark registrations, copyright registrations, and I am 100% bilingual. I speak Spanish, and that's really helped me in my practice area too, because I do have a lot of Spanish speaking clients. As you know, I just did actually a law line seminar on the Latinx demographic in intellectual property, because as some of you may know, we're just Latinas specifically are creating businesses at really high number, and really one of the fastest growing demographics of business owners in the United States, and really contributing to the GDP in the country. I think the Latina business owner GDP is greater than the whole entire state of Florida. So, so I love working with business owners, and this is what I do, and I love my practice area.
I love that you quoted that stat, and I have a theory, by the way, about why Latinas are creating businesses more than anybody else, because I feel, this is my personal belief, that there really isn't space for us in other places, and so we're left to choose between settling or just creating our own thing. I think, I worked in corporate America for a while. I worked at Nielsen for a really long time, and I love that company. I had an amazing experience. But I really feel like there are a lot of corporate environments that are just not aligned with our values, our lifestyle, our, interests, and the things that light us up. And I think that, when you get to that point where it's like, okay, either I settle or I find a way to do this, you find a way. And I think that's, that's beautiful that you're focused on that underserved community, because the other stat that I've read is that yes, Latinas are creating more businesses, but we're also not going past 5 years more than everybody else. And I want you to walk us through, how do you help with that?
Yeah, so
as an attorney,
it's something obviously that I think about all the time, because it's not only, start up a new business, but it's also start up a new business, make sure you're profitable, make sure you have it protected, make sure you prioritize your business, you have a business plan, you have goals, that there are different ways you can access funding. I think it's a lot of this sort of it's a lot of information you need to know as a business owner. And quite honestly, for me, the reason I love entrepreneurship is the flexibility it gives me. I'm a mother of three
Exactly.
kids. My husband works in corporate America and he works in New York City. So, long hours in New York City. And we have three kids that are very, very involved in like a million sports. And, I have that flexibility of going to their games. Of course, there are days that I work at night. But for me, flexibility is everything, especially as a mom. And that's why I love being a business owner. But I think in order to keep these businesses alive, you have to do so much work and you really have to find the right people to give you guidance. You have to find someone that you can trust, a mentor. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a paid mentor. Business partners, such as someone that can help you with your marketing, really strategic marketing, such as a CMO, right? A lawyer
Yeah.
that can provide you guidance, an accountant that can provide you guidance, people that are really sort of your cheerleaders. And I I will, and I well, I have heard this from my clients. I have heard this from my clients that they know that I really care about their business, and I do because I want their business to succeed and not be one of those statistics where it's like, they're not in business after 5 years. And obviously, it's for many different reasons. Many different reasons. We're also, as Latinas and Latinos, we're underrepresented in getting our trademarks registered.
We
So
risk
there's
it. We risk it like crazies.
another
Yes.
issue there because then what happens? There's infringement. Obviously, when there's a
Yeah.
lot of infringement, you can't do anything about it, or it's very hard to do something about it. There's going to be a lack of sales. Obviously, if you're going to see a decline in sales, you're not going to be happy about that. Might make you reconsider everything, right? So it's
Yeah.
a lot. I think as a business owner, it can be really easy to have a great business, to be a successful business owner that's profitable, but you have to really take the time to create a plan, to understand how you acquire customers, to understand the cost of acquiring one customer, to understand, whether that customer returns or not, and why is that customer not returning? Because as I'm sure is that it takes so much more time, effort, and expenses in getting a new customer than having a returning customer, right?
Yeah.
So then that sort of becomes like reliable. I see a lot of people in business that are doing well that they have different streams of revenue in their business. So there's different ways that they make money in their business, which is something I definitely recommend. So
Hmm.
it's a lot of reasons, and obviously some people get into debt for their business, and then obviously that's not always the greatest thing, or let's say also, which happens all the time. And I'm just giving like relevant info, kind of stories that I've heard in my practice. There's this business owner that spent $20,000 on the, big marketing package for their business. They did signage, they did a new website, and they did a physical storefront using a name that was already registered as a trademark.
Oh, they didn't even look it up? Like they didn't run into it anywhere?
No,
Wow.
no.
Whoo.
So
Well,
they
I have
had
a
to
blog.
start all over again.
I have a blog that I'll share with this podcast where it walks you through places to look up if the name already exists. So hopefully that could be a good starting point. But do you have any resources, Tanya, that you could point
Yeah,
people
of
to or
course.
that you would advise people to look that up? Because that's huge and that's so simple to avoid.
So I think one of the first, just like a starting point, right? I'm not gonna say this is this is it. If you don't see the name here, you're in the clear. I'm not gonna say that, okay? That's not it because you still should have a comprehensive review and comprehensive search, right? But a starting point is the USPTO website. They have a search, just a search link that you just search what's registered there. And you can enter, obviously when attorneys do searches, they're more complex. They look at the root
Right.
words, they look at different variations, but that is a starting point if you want to just take
At
a look
least
to
do
see if
that.
this is something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a starting point. That there, the USPTO search um, link.
So, Tanya, what would you say to an attorney that has a client that does, and that this attorney does not practice this area of the law? and the client is asking them questions, what sort of questions would a client ask that to you would be a flag of refer them to Tannia or to Ospina Law?
Well, I appreciate referrals from attorneys, especially because I am like, wow, they really, they really think I do a great job. I take my referrals very, very seriously, and honestly, all my clients seriously. But when it comes from an attorney, I'm even more like, oh, they like me as a lawyer. But
Right.
I think, if your client is looking for someone that has sort of like it's more of like honestly any intellectual property question I can handle, whether it's going to be a trademark registration, copyright registration, sending a cease and desist letter, demand letters or copyright infringement. There's definitely things that once you start practicing, you just know different things and different strategies of how to approach people and different language you can use. So if you see anything like that, and or if it's someone that you think that this case might get more complicated than you think, definitely have them reach out to me.
Yeah. So here's one question that I got, and I thought, I think you might need an intellectual property lawyer, but I wasn't sure, so I'll ask it to you. So I had a woman come to me because everybody knows I work with lawyers, so now I've become a huge referral source for people. Um, I had a woman come to me and she said, I have a business, I have a brand, and there is a man that is on social media saying he works for me and he doesn't. And he's saying he represents my company and he doesn't. Who can help me sue this guy? And I was like, I'm not sure. I was like, I think you might need an intellectual property attorney because I think that has to do with your brand and they're violating the use of your like brand. Did I get that right? Or should I have
Yeah,
referred them
I
to
mean,
someone
there's several
different?
things because if they might be, I guess this guy might be saying that he actually works there or somehow representing or using the name, right?
Yep,
For
he's
in
using her
like
company name. Hmm.
obviously being associated with that name in order for him to look good and like trust me, I'm associated with this name. And obviously if the name, whenever you have anything registered, any trademark or copyright registered, it's such an easier process to even just take down people or report them to Instagram or to do different things. So I think, or cease and desist letter, hey, you're using these, obviously profiting off, right? You're using this trademark or copyright registration in commerce because I'm guessing that this guy is trying to acquire customers because of, this
Probably,
association,
yeah.
probably, right? Or
Right.
it sounds like it. So yeah, I think that would be, but then obviously if stuff is more complex, I don't do litigation, but I do have amazing litigation partners. So that is, then obviously that's another thing about me. That is, if it's something that I can do and I handle, I'll do it. But if not, I also have a lot of different referrals that I give out too,
Of
and people that I
course.
trust and vet. Because for me, it's important to be an attorney that can also introduce people to other people. I'm not.
Let, yeah, and let's talk
That's
about
important.
that because I think taking care of your clients also looks like referring people that you can't help to other people. But I've heard some attorneys, and it's respectable, that they'll say, well, I don't refer people to other attorneys because I can't guarantee that they're going to take care of them the same way. And I don't want to make, look bad. I'd rather just tell people that I don't know. It sounds to me like you've actually taken the time and put in the effort to build a network because you're anticipating that there are things that you're not going to want to do. And you're anticipating that maybe the best way to take care of people is by having a vetted list or at least a filter.
Exactly that. Yes, yeah. Because honestly, I've taken the time to get to know people that I could potentially refer cases or different things. I connect people. Sometimes it's not even a referral. I just introduce
Yeah.
people to each other, but I have taken the time to get to know them. And if by any chance I don't really know them well and it's just an introduction, I'll tell the person up front and I'll be like, I just met this person, but I remember them saying that they do this type of thing. So, you know, kind of like proceed, but
I
it's
love
like,
that.
so just to even, but I give them some of that information. Even my neighbor called me the other day, because I'm an attorney. She needed help with something. And I had just met someone that does exactly what she needed, right? And I said, oh, I just
Right.
met this person last week. I'm not, I don't know too much about them. We're not best friends. I'm not going to get a referral fee. We don't do, I kind of said that. And I was like, but you can reach out to them and see if you like them, but I don't really know them like that. But I know they do that.
There, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
So yeah, and I can relate because I do something similar. So my process whenever I'm going to send a referral, because I do get a lot of people asking me, especially in the Latino community, because they're like, they sometimes even think I'm a lawyer, and I'm like, I know I sound like a lawyer, but I'm not. Um, they'll say, oh, can you refer me to this, or can you help me with that? And I always ask specifically, what are you looking for in a blank, right? Like if they ask me for a criminal attorney, what specifically are you looking for in a criminal attorney? And then I try to think of somebody that specializes in specifically what they're looking for, and I always give context. I've known this person X amount of years. I would trust them with my child. Or I just met this person. They seem okay. Check it out. And I try to give options because I believe that people are smart enough to make their own best choices and to follow their heart and their instincts. And I love to give people options. And I think that when it comes to attorneys, you have to be aligned in personality and case type. It's not just the case type, it's the personality and the approach that you're looking for. It matters. You and I were talking beforehand about the importance of connecting as people. And this is something that I teach in my Connect Convert book that I wrote for law firm sales, where a lot of people see, oh, law firm sales, and they think that the book is about selling to more people, and it's not. It's about connecting with yourself so that you can connect authentically with others and find alignment and align with the right cases. And that's how you grow your firm, because now you have people that actually belong with you and your firm because they're a match. They tend to be happier. They tend to leave 5-star Google reviews, and you tend to make more money because you retain more and you get more referrals. So walk us through some of the things that you look for to know that somebody is aligned with you. Like, how do you do that for yourself?
So I can think of someone, you're saying as far as just referring them work
Clients.
or referring them
Oh, no.
clients?
Like, I'll ask my question the better way. What is one way that you as an attorney ensure that if you are going to, say, position yourself or offer your services to a client, what do you look for in a client to ensure that there's alignment, that you can help them? Aside from, I think you already mentioned, you want to make sure that the case is something you can and want to handle, right? If not, you refer them out. What else do you look for to ensure that this client is somebody that you can sincerely help?
So I look at, I get to know them. I mean, I think it's something. I was at this event recently, and then they asked me, how do you show clients you care?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I guess I have phone calls with them and I try to get to know them. For me, it's more of just having that personal connection. And I'm not saying that we spend hours trying to get to know, but it's having an onboarding call or having a discovery call with them, getting to know them, their business, what's important, where do they see this business in 5, 10 years? Because also I want to be honest with them. And if they're, envisioning something else and that I can't do for them, or if they're looking for something else I can't provide for them, then I'm going to tell them,
Or an outcome that's not realistic, it sounds like, right? That's how you
Yeah,
would
I'll
string that.
be honest. I'll be honest, and I'll say, because for me, yes, I want the business, especially as a solo practitioner. I do want to grow this law firm. I eventually want to hire more attorneys. But for me, I also think it's important, to have good relationships with my clients and to be able to really help them in the way that they want to get helped. Or what are you looking for? Or what would you like me to do?
Yeah.
What's important to you? Some of these questions, I have a
Yeah.
framework of questions that I kind of go through in my onboarding call. And I like to explain the things to them because I could send them an email, but I feel like some of
Right.
these questions might not be understood really what I'm looking for. So, and
Right.
honestly, these calls are what, like 20 minutes? They're not taking me
Right.
5 hours, 20, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer if, we connect and we talk about something else, but
Yeah.
but I think they go a long way because now I have more of a picture of what's important for this client and what they really want, and I could even offer them better legal advice.
I like that. And you never know what's going to come out in a conversation. Like, I had an amazing divorce attorney when I got a divorce. And one thing that stuck with me that she did is, and she would do this more than almost every time we talked, is she would always ask, "How are you feeling?" Did that have to do with the legal matter? No. But to your point, sometimes in answering that question, I would share things that maybe I didn't think were important to the legal matter, but then she would pick up on it and be like, "Oh, we can take care of that," And yeah, and it happens in a very relaxed conversational context, and it's not hard. I think what you just described of asking people, "Where do you see your business in 5 years?" Is it a qualifying question to see if you can take their case or not? No. But I feel like it provides a relaxed invitation to the other person to share things that they might not otherwise think to share, that you, because you're an expert or you're an attorney, that's your profession, you'll identify if it's important or not in how you guide this person through their legal matter. I think that's so, so valuable.
No, I just wanted to tell you, it's just that honestly, even what you said that you asked your divorce attorney, well, that your divorce attorney would ask you, sometimes when I catch up with them, I'm like, how's your business doing? How's it doing? And because for me, wouldn't really ask them how you're doing, even though part of, how you're doing doesn't matter for your business, but I'll be like, how's your business doing? And,
Yeah.
what's new in your business? And I think that helps people just sort of even just feel okay to talk to me and open up to and sort of
Mm-hmm.
confide in me and even reach out to me if they have any additional questions, or as in the generating business, I guess, concept for them, they'll come to me when they have additional issues or additional services that they want to hire a lawyer for. So that's already happened, and I think it's because I was able to kind of build a good rapport with them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I refer a lot of people to my divorce attorney. She was so great. But all right, so I ask every single guest because this podcast is called The Care Sandwich. What is your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich is, so it's in Spanish, pan con queso. Pan con
That
queso.
sounds like that sounds delicious. And Tanya, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, how can we get a hold of you?
So if you would like to speak to me, you can follow me on Instagram at Tannia Ospina Law. So Tannia Ospina, Ospina Law on Instagram. Then on LinkedIn, I'm Tania Munoz Ospina, my maiden name in there. And my website is theospinalawfirm.com. And looking forward to speaking to, anyone that's just interested in IP. I do think also not just you know because I'm a Latina, but I do think that intellectual property is an area where there should be more Latina lawyers and Latino lawyers. I would love to see that happen. Right now, I think it's only about 2% of intellectual property lawyers are Latinos. So, not the greatest demographics and not the greatest sort of just, availability for what's out there. And I do think it's a growing practice area. So would love to see that happen too.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us, everybody. Tannia Ospina, and you can reach her online. And there you have it, folks. We'll catch you on the next episode of Care Sandwich. Thank you, Tannia.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.